Hello friends, this video on Symmetry Part 2 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Now let's look at symmetrical and asymmetrical figures. So those figures that possess symmetry are called symmetrical figures. Now as the name suggests, those who have symmetry are symmetrical figures. For example, look at this one. So do you think this is symmetrical? Think of this axis, this line. So if you fold the paper along this line, what happens? You get two identical parts and they exactly cover each other completely. So that means this figure has symmetry. In fact, not only this line, even if you think of this line, this is also an axis of symmetry because these two halves are again identical and they cover each other completely. So these are lines of symmetry for this particular figure. So let's see, how do they overlap? So let's say this is one part, this is another identical part. So the moment you try to fold it and you place it over the other part, you see that they exactly cover each other completely. Now what about asymmetrical figures? Now they do not possess symmetry. Like if you look at this particular figure, this is also a similar figure but not exactly the same, because in this case it is, if I think of this line, so do you think that this line acts as an axis of symmetry? No, that's because this half and this half, they are not exactly identical. So you see the boundary of this half is curved and the boundary of this half is smooth. So they will never overlap each other completely. So this is an example of asymmetrical figure. Similarly, when you look at this one, so here in this case, even if you draw this line, so you can try drawing any line and see if it is symmetrical, and you would see that in most of the cases, in all the cases in fact for this particular figure, it is not symmetrical. So therefore this is an example of an asymmetrical figure. So here you see I have drawn three different options, but in all the three options we see that it is not symmetrical. Now let's look at this particular figure and decide if this possesses symmetry. Now let us try to look at this from any line or fold. Now from any line such that you fold along that line and the two halves which are identical, they coincide. So if that happens, only then we can say that it possesses symmetry. So let's think of this line. So do you think that these two halves are identical? No, because you see the boundaries are different, so they will not overlap. So this is not an axis for symmetry. Similarly, if you think of this line, so do you think that they would overlap? Well, yes, in this case they would, because this half and this half, they are identical because half of it is smooth, half of it is curved, and the same is true here, half smooth and half curved. Now if you fold this paper along this line, so this half and this half will cover each other completely. Therefore we can say that yes, this particular figure has symmetry. So whenever you have to decide if a particular figure has symmetry or not, you actually need to analyze that figure from different possible lines to see that if it is symmetrical with respect to any of those lines.
Thank you. Please visit examfear.com for free quality education. You can learn with a simple 4-step learning process wherein you can watch video lessons, you can ask your questions, you can refer notes, and you can take a free online test. We have content for class 6 to 12 on physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology along with practical videos. So please subscribe to our channel for daily updates. Thank you.